Godon Parks was an American photographer, filmmaker, writer who used his largely self-taught talents to record the African-American experience and to retell his own personal history. In his whole life of creation, he created a lot of outstanding and epic photographers. All these photographers are in black and white, and they have a strong ability to tell stories outside of the views themselves. He also is known for his activism for civil rights, that he was the first African American to work as a staff photographer for Life magazine, and the first black artist to produce and direct a major Hollywood film, The Learning Tree, in 1969. As Walt himself stated, freedom was the theme of all his works. He described it as not allowing anyone to set boundaries, cutting loose the imagination, and then making the new horizons. Perhaps his best-known photography, which he titled American Gothic. American Gothic is an ethically evaluated photography that pointed out the social issues and make ethical judgments. It was taken in 1942 in Washington, D.C., and it shows a black cleaning woman named Ella Watson standing stiffly in front of an American flag, a mop in one hand and a broom in the other. Parks wanted the picture to speak of the existence of racial inequity and discrimination in the nation's capital, where the least place discrimination should be expected to happen. He was in an angry mood when he asked about the woman's life. As he said, "I put her before the American flag, with a broom in one hand and a mop in another. I feel that I must photograph this woman in a way that will make me feel or make the public feel about what Washington, D.C. was like in 1942. And I said, American Gothic, that's how I feel at the moment. I didn't care about what anybody else felt. That's what I felt about America and Ella Watson's position inside America." This is just another picture that Mr. Park took in 1968. It's actually the revisit of the Harlem family. It's a black and white picture. It's a portrait of an African-American child named Richard, who wears a too big jacket lying on the bed reading a book. The dim light and the broken walls illustrate the poverty of this family. However, the too poverty family doesn't really leave any shadow to the boy's life. He is still eager for knowledge and education. Richard probably was too young to understand, but he and his family became the faces of urban poverty for millions of Americans. To Mr. Parks, racism and poverty are always the main theme in his works. To draw attention from the public, he knew that he had to focus on the daily lives of a single, impoverished black family. Anger at social inequity was at the root of many of Godon Parks' best photographic stories. In Godon Parks' 93 years life, he is a successful photographer. He used photography as a great weapon to fight for the civil rights, and he is a great fighter.